Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Even Stevens Ranked podcast, a podcast for all things Even Stevens. I'm Brittany Butler.
I'm Ethan Brim.
And today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 19, Strictly Ballroom. Classic. Again, I'm feeling so excited saying Episode 19, because that means there's only 2 left in Season 1. Finally, after what feels like 5 years.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
But it probably is almost 5 years since, we did our rankings. Yeah, it just feels like it's been a longer time coming since any of these ideas were initially conceived, your ranking and then my ranking. Since starting that to now, it just feels like, wow, we're finally making it to the end of a whole season. God.
Yeah. Definitely a milestone.
And it's crazy, though, because I get so excited thinking that it's almost like this big ending, and then we're just going to have to start all over again twice.
We have 2 more seasons. Yeah. I know, it's weird, but in my opinion, we're in the middle of, I think, the best run.
Yeah.
In the series. It's
pretty good. Anyway, so this episode has a 7.5 on IMDb, so standard town once again. Yeah. But on TV.com, it's a 9.3, which is pretty high.
Yeah, it is really high.
This was written and directed by Matt Dearborn.
I know, one of only a handful that he wrote and directed.
Which is cool, though, because we both really love this episode. Because, I have this ranked number 7. And
I have this ranked number 7.
Number 7.
This is our first one, I think.
Finally, an episode where we both have the same number. We were just talking about this. Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. Both in our top 10.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see why, though, because I feel like we might like it for different reasons. Yeah. Before we get into it, just want to read an email. This email was actually really, really, really long. Really long. So I just chopped it up a little bit to sort of get the main points. So this is from Josh, and he says, I am 26 years old and a big fan of the show. I started watching the show during Season 1 and watched the entirety of new episodes during Season 2 and Season 3 as they aired on TV. Yes, that includes the movie too. Thanks for doing the podcasts. I listened as new ones pop up. You're not in this by yourself. There are other people listening too. Thank you. My favorite character, of course, was Lewis, followed by Twitty and then Tawny. My favorite episode was during Season 1, Movie Madness. So they go on to say they were a huge fan of Shia in the 2000s, and that Even Stevens is one of the best shows of all time. They're a fan and always will be. The early 2000s was an excellent time for Disney. No streaming services. The episodes had a unique feel that is rare these days. That's So Raven has now brought us Raven's Home, and that has worked well. I would argue Raven's Home is the best sequel reboot Disney Channel has had. It beats Sweet Life on Deck and Girl Meets World. And then he goes, so, the Even Stevens movie. I thought the movie was just okay. It did not exemplify the TV show, but it's better than not having a movie at all. I found it to be less funny than the show. The recurring characters should have had a bigger role, like Twitty, Tawny, and Ruby. I felt more fulfilled watching Even Stevens than I did watching the movie, but the movie will always have a place in me, even if it wasn't the best ever. Thank you for the podcasts. Keep it up, don't stop, and keep inspiring us fans of the show.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Always nice to hear, but see, I echo his sentiments towards the movie.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely an understandable opinion. I mean, I don't like the movie more than Even Stevens, but I think I'm in the minority in liking it as much as I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I liked it for what it stood for. It was like the last hurrah.
So, the Disney Plus synopsis, I laughed so hard at this. So, the Disney Plus synopsis is, Lewis has one night to learn how to dance for his first junior high school dance party.
Okay.
That's a mouthful. At the same party, Ren's decision to approach the object of her affections leads to an
Oh, man.
Leads to an unexpected bathroom accident.
That makes it sound like she had, explosive diarrhea or something. Oh, man, don't have the Salisbury steak.
Just Ren and Bobby equals explosive diarrhea, one way or another.
Yeah, bathroom issues in general. Yeah, let's keep the count going.
I'm sorry, I was just like, leads to an unexpected bathroom accident? There had to have been a better way to say that.
Yeah, this is a great episode, by the way.
Oh my god, sorry, I just laughed so hard at that. As well as Lewis needs to learn how to dance for his first junior high school dance party. That makes it sound like it's a high school, like a junior high school dance.
Yeah, dance.
But then party.
By the way, in junior high school dances, when I was in junior high, no one was dancing.
Oh, we danced. Or maybe it was just me. I was just that crazy person who loves music so freaking much. I was just out on the dance floor with everything. But yeah, it's a house party. It's a house party. Yeah. Which is weird because I say like plots like this are other things that seem more high school to me. I never went to a house party like this in junior high.
I went to a couple. Like in 8th grade, we had like a couple parties. There were like tons of parents there, though.
Yeah, this is like one mom.
Yeah.
Just an entire house full of kids and food and music and dancing and...
Yeah, the ratio is a little low. We had a couple parties. Like, they made this one seem like it was like a high school party, though.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so my general thoughts. Yeah, I said I love this one. I always have. I love a good house party episode because they always feel like older. Because I remember there was like a house party episode of Lizzie McGuire as well.
It's like that one fool who walks through this one. He's all like pointing at people, all cool and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
And so it's like just any sort of house party plot is usually kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. They're good ones.
I said they're always dramatic. I said there's usually some drama going on.
Also, they're like, they feel very like kinetic because it's basically one long scene, right? You see kind of this sequence of events. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But still that the sequence at the house party. But just like that feeling, I mean, I don't know if you were like this, but like building up, like I felt like, okay, this is a party, like, I got, what am I going to wear? Like, is there going to be, like, a girl there that I like? Like, I like that they prepped it a lot.
Yeah.
On both ends with Ren and Lewis. It's a realistic scenario, I think, on both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super relatable. I think it's one of the more relatable episodes.
Definitely just in general, one of them.
Just in general, yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, like, even Stevens is, like, rooted in reality in a sense, but it's also, like, over the top a lot, right? So... And this one has the over the top, but then puts it in like a really realistic junior high scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah. I also said, there's like great Lewis and Tawny development. There's cool sibling stuff too. As I said, it's funny, quotable, and memorable. It's a big moment for Ren and Bobby, even though it's cringy as heck.
Oh my gosh, it's so cringy.
I love it though. It's awful. Of course, Zach Estrada is back in this one. The saga continues. And, he's a very memorable guy. When I looked back at my review, I was surprised at a lot of the things I said that I didn't really think of for some reason this time. I said that there's so much heart here, which, yeah. I said Lewis and Ren's plots are interwoven flawlessly, like just them being at the same party and like all of that comes from that.
Yeah.
And I said, I love that we get two different situations where Shia brings out Lewis's kinder, more sentimental qualities. We see him upset about Tawny and Zach / obviously crushing on Tawny. And then we see him helping Ren get out of her humiliating situation.
Definitely.
I said, it's also easily one of, if not my favorite Ren plot, just because it's so ridiculous and seeing her just crumble is like, so I don't know. It's just entertaining though. And then I said there's a lot of fantastic quotes. I laughed a lot watching it. And I had actually written this review on Shia's 32nd birthday.
June 11th?
June 11th, 2018.
Cool. Yeah. I definitely my top, I mean, I've said this before, like the episodes in my top 10 at least, most of them are interwoven plots.
Yep.
Which is cool. I mean, Matt Dearborn writing and directing, like he understands obviously like the spirit and the heart of the show because he created it. But it really comes out here, especially just the dynamic with Ren and Lewis. And sometimes we watch episodes and it's like there's maybe one thing in the episode and you're like, okay, maybe the writer didn't get something about the show, like it's not really consistent with the rest of the series. Maybe there's not anything like that in this episode. Like there's not going to be that when it's Matt Dearborn writing.
I know situations like that in other shows.
Yeah.
Like where you can tell like some new writer came on and just were writing for these characters as if they were just characters without thinking of
the dynamics and watching. Yeah. Pretty much every show has a couple moments like that. With this one, it's like the polar opposite, where everything is so in line with these characters. I didn't look up who wrote and directed it before I watched it, and then after I was like, oh, that totally makes sense that it's Matt Dearborn, because I forgot that he did this one. I remember growing up when this episode was on, I was like, yes, this is the episode. Yeah. I quoted this episode so much.
I think this is in my mom's top. I know that we watch it a lot together.
I think it's one of the most easily likable episodes too.
Yeah.
Of the show, just because it grounds it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one. So, plot point time. So it starts with Ren in the school hallway, and Ruby is going off on her New York accent, spew of gossip. Again, like, even what she's saying, I'm just like, why is this so even Stevens? Like, she's just talking about this girl named Anita who is going out with a guy whose last name is Bath, and then she realizes that if they got married, she'd go through her whole life as, I need a bath, basically.
That's totally like a thing people would think about, I think, though. When you're like 13 and you're like, I can't marry this guy. It's like, you're 13, bro. Like,
I need a bath. Anyway, so Ren's just sort of tuning her out, and then her watch goes off and says, it's Bobby time.
Bobby's apparently really punctual.
Honestly, he walks through that door at the same time every day.
To the second.
The minute he walks through that door, it is Bobby time on the clock.
Yes. And then she busts out these binoculars.
Yes, that have a thing, hunkometer, and Bobby's current distance, 65 feet, 64 feet, 65. I'm like, did she implant a chip in Bobby Deaver without letting him know?
She had to have had Lewis rig this.
Honestly.
It's like one of those binoculars from like the opera, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when you go. It's like one of those ones. Can you imagine if you were in the hallway and you like looked across and someone was just using those? Like, you'd be like, what is she looking? Oh, it's Bobby Deaver.
Oh my God, but I just loved the watch. It's Bobby time. Like, for some reason, as soon as her watch did that, I just laughed. I laughed so loud because I was like, this is so ridiculous. But I love it because it's a surreal thing, but it's poking fun at how absolutely ridiculous middle school crushes are, because that's what it's like.
No, I know.
It's like when that person you like comes walking through the door, or like you're waiting for them, like that's the event of your day, is like when they came walking through the door.
It's definitely like a hyperbole of like that moment, like when you're a kid. Yeah, like when you're crushing on someone super hard when you're that age, that's like all you're thinking about, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're like, okay, this is where they're gonna be. This is what's going to happen. Like, oh, they have practice here at this time, like on Tuesdays or whatever. Like, you know those things.
Yeah.
And I got Ruby's like, you're obsessed, but then like she's even worse with BB Mac.
Well, later on,
yeah. That's all I thought about.
But yeah, it is funny the way she's like, oh, this is so unhealthy. And like, I mean, later on, Ren and Bobby are not healthy at all.
No, Bobby's not healthy.
So aside from that, we don't know that yet. Ren's like, no, like, this is not like a crush, because apparently all crushes disrupt your schoolwork and make you lose your appetite and you can't sleep.
That's not right. None of those things, I don't think, for me. I definitely sleep well. Definitely eat well. And I definitely, maybe not the schoolwork part, I guess, but that was just me anyway.
Like, why would you hear the word crush and then immediately say, this is not a crush because I'm sleeping like a baby and my appetite is fine and my schoolwork is not disrupted? I'm like...
Yeah, bro, it's definitely a crush. Like, you have binoculars. I don't understand why she wouldn't think it's a crush. Like, this is definitely, and like I said, when I was harsh on her, like, watching this as a kid, I'm like, man, she's freaking annoying. But then, like, I get it when you say, like, it's over the top and exaggeration. Like, if you watch it with that mindset, I think it's not as bad, but... The
exaggeration comes from a very, very real place, you know?
The denial, like, who's in denial?
Yeah.
Like, you're crushing on somebody.
She denies it, but then she immediately agrees. She's like, you're right, I'm crushing.
She's just kind of being ridiculous.
And I love the way she has those threads in her hair.
Yeah, like those were big back then. The little, like, what do they call those? Like,
I can't remember what, like, the actual name for them, but yeah.
Did you ever have those?
I tried to always put crap in my hair. Anything I saw on TV, I would try to put in my hair.
Yeah, those are big, man.
I just had to point that out because Ren's hairstyles throughout this episode.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna bring that up.
are insane.
You know it's bad if I'm noticing her hairstyles.
Her hairstyles are next level throughout this whole episode. Oh my god. Ruby, is saying like, okay, this crush you have is ridiculous. And she's like, no, it's not a crush. But then she admits, yeah, I'm totally crushing. And then she goes, so what are you going to do? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to make my move today or whatever. I'm like, this language. And she's like, okay, how are you going to do it? I'm dying. And she's like, I stole his jacket. I'm like, so Ren is a psychopath.
I like the plan, though.
No, it is a solid plan.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. I mean, it's kind of messed up because if it's like raining or cold, like this fool's just left with no jacket. But
I mean, not just that. It's like you're starting your relationship on thievery.
On a lie. Yeah.
You stole his jacket. Like your whole relationship is starting on a lie. You're right. Like,
that's like one of those things where like later on you're like, you tell everybody.
Yeah, like, oh, by the way, we only met at the Lost and Found because I stole your jacket. Yeah. How is it that Ren hasn't even spoken to him yet? Or like, she's acting like she's never even met him.
Well, maybe their school is big.
She sees him right down the hall. Apparently multiple times a day if it's Bobby time.
I don't know.
It's already been established that Ren is popular.
Yeah. And
so it's like, if she's one of the most popular girls in school, how has she not met or spoken to the most popular boy at school? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean...
And then at the end of the episode, it confirmed what I was saying. I was like, okay, of course. There's no way he was unaware of her existence, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it ends with that little just sentence of, I stole his jacket. And Ruby's like, okay. Then it cuts to outside of the school where Zach Estrada, good old Zach Estrada, invites Lewis to his house party and says, party starts at 8 and we can just kick it to whatever or whatever. Yeah, and also Zach Estrada's pants, before I forget, in this scene are also insane.
They're ridiculous.
Nowhere near as insane as the bright orange parachute pants he had on an Easy Way, but they're still parachute pants.
Yeah.
And they have like lime green accents like up on his butt and like in between his legs. I'm like, what was the fashion? I don't understand. It is insane. But yeah, so he invites Lewis, and Lewis says one of his first great lines in the episode.
Yeah, well, Zach, that sounds like a big stinky pile of fun. But there's this documentary on the history of coleslaw that I can't miss.
Lewis finds out that Twitty and Tawny are going to be going to the party because, Twitty's like, oh yeah, his last one was amazing, man. Like, so fun. And I love the way Zach says, yeah, my mom got like some major snackage. I'm like, first of all, no one ever spoke like this.
People say snackage.
People say things with edge at the end.
Yeah.
Because I feel like on TV you see so many people take words and just like add a little thing to it.
No, I've heard people say some major snackage. That, I mean, like the 90s has some weird sayings.
Yeah, I know. Is that like the beginning of Brink where they're like, dude, lateness, and then he says, dude, choreness.
I like that.
At least when I was a kid watching this stuff on TV, I was saying, and no one I know talks like this.
Well, it's like people say weird things in like Clueless, but then like that sparked, like people said it because they saw it in Clueless. Or like same with like Mean Girls, I do like in the scene how Twitty and Zach have like a secret handshake though.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like there's always been this thing. He is a rival to Lewis basically in the sense that his best guy friend is cool with him somehow, and the girl he likes, Zach is crushing on her. So it's just like Lewis, just both ways. He's just like, I hate this guy.
Zach's an idiot, right? Like that's his whole thing. He's stupid. Mm-hmm. And then Lewis is actually like super smart, but everyone thinks he's stupid. Mm-hmm. And he's like, everyone thinks this dude's cool, but he's dumber than me, and everyone thinks I'm stupid. but like I'm a dork. I like the rivalry because it's totally realistic. You know, like you see someone, you're like, why does everyone think that person's cool?
But I love how this is almost like exactly the same as Easy Way when they do a close-up on Lewis and he's looking between Tawny and Zach and Tawny and Tawny and Zach, like he's seeing the conversation happen.
Yeah.
And he's putting it together in his head. He's like, wait a minute, she's not going to that party without me. And then, oh yeah, never mind. That Cold Slaw documentary, that's next week on the 10th. I can make it.
Yeah, he got the 5th and the 10th mixed up, apparently.
Yep.
Not the same day of the week, but...
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, that's only 5 days apart. And so basically the group sort of disperses, but not before Tawny says, you know what, Lewis? I don't think I've ever seen you dance. ... Walks away. And then that just leaves Lewis to crumble and spiral because he's like, oh, wait, I just realized. Because then, again, Twitty goes back to like the whole helping and hurting thing by saying like, oh, yeah, man, he throws the best party. It's like one whole nonstop dance jam. And then like Lewis kind of does that stop and starting thing again where he's like,
So, wait, non-stop. Wait, I have to dance then, right?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just spend the whole night leaning against the loser wall.
I love when he does that. There's helping
again, helping and hurting.
Yeah,
helping
this
and
whole
hurting.
episode, Twitty is helping and hurting.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that. So now Lewis realizes that if he's going to go to this party, he's going to need to know how to dance or something so he doesn't make a fool of himself. Then it cuts to the Lost and Found at the school office, which of course...
Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous.
Which of course, though, Ren is in charge of, the Lost and Found. Yeah. So let's make that note first.
Putting other people's retainers in people's mouths.
Ugh. Literally, I put that as a note. I said, this is so freaking nasty. Yeah. First of all, how many kids are losing retainers at this school?
And wouldn't this girl know what her retainer looks like?
She's just like, here, try this one on. I'm like, no. Did you at least put these through like a hot glaze first or like something to like
disinfect them? Jeez.
My God.
It's a funny little bit, but it's so nasty though.
It's gross.
Also, it's so like she just lets this girl walk away with someone else's retainer.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't even, she's just like, okay, yeah, bye. See you later. Don't be a stranger.
You'll grow into it? That's not how teeth work.
Yeah, she's like, it's a little loose. Well, you'll grow into it. Goodbye. And so she's kicking this chick out because she was telling Ruby, who was already in there, who smelled Bobby's jacket and said, Bobby Diva's jacket even smells cute. I'm like, seriously? Ren says how she got it, which, it was very careless of him to leave it on the back of his chair unattended. And since I am in charge of the Lost and Found, I knew he had to get it back from little old me, which is a good plan, honestly.
Really good.
It's a solid plan. But then I was like, how does she expect that conversation to go, though? It's like, here's your jacket. By the way, hi. What else are you going to say?
Don't try that Salisbury steak.
That's her time to finally use that line, yes.
That's her time.
Yeah, I didn't realize this is right after Movie Madness, so this is kind of perfect. Yeah. One right into the other of her trying to say how she feels to Bobby or like approach him in some way. Ruby leaves and then Ren hops on the intercom. The way she sits down and she like pops up her knee all dramatically. And it's, Bobby Deaver, please come to the Lost and Found. Bobby Deaver, please come to the Lost and Found.
Like he's going to hear it and be like, ooh, that's a sexy voice. I'm going to go.
Exactly. Like she says it in this voice. And I'm just like, this is so hilarious. And so then she goes and like casually, not so casually stands like right at the desk and is like just holding the jacket and waiting. Like if I went walking in and the person was like greeting me like that, holding my jacket, that would be so weird. Hey, Brittany, here's your jacket ready
just
to go.
All prepped and ready to go. Like, oh man, that's funny. Yeah,
it is. So Ren is standing there eagerly awaiting Bobby to walk through the door. And it's Lewis instead, which is just always funny. The anticipation's building and building. The doorknob is turning, and then it's Lewis just bolts through the door. And Ren's like, oh, Jesus. The very first thing he says when he comes in is just, Bobby Deaver, huh? Isn't that the kid you got the hots for? It's perfect. Yeah. And so she's like, Lewis, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, another good line.
Miss Mason called me a detriment to the learning process, so I thanked her, and for some reason, she sent me to the office. Lewis, Ren, relax, it's decaf. I think I should ask you, to introduce me to this diva kid. I think there's a few things he needs to know about.
Wait, like what?
That, you get car sick and that sometimes you get corn in your braces, which is really disgusting. And, that you still sleep with a stuffed animal.
Will you just leave Mr. Pookie out of this?
One of my favorite ones is right here when, he goes over to make himself some coffee. And then Ren's like, Louis! And then, Ren, relax, it's decaf. And so then Louis starts saying like, oh, the fact that, you get corn in your braces and you still sleep with a stuffed animal. Another Mr. Pookie name drop, and we see him as well again in this episode. And then, Louis is like, nah, I can't leave it out. I can't do it. And so what does she do? She runs back over to the intercom. Bobby Deaver, do not come to the office. Do not come to the office. Imagine being the kids at the school, hearing those announcements within like 2 minutes of each other. I'd be like, what was the need for the dramatic retraction?
Yeah, if I was Bobby Deaver and I heard the first one, I'd be like, ah, sweet, someone found my jacket. And he's all like walking. He's like, man, I guess it's not there. Like,
no, but I mean, like, the dramatic difference in the voice. Like, Bobby Deaver, please come to the lost and found. 2 minutes later, Bobby Deaver, do not come to the office. Do not come to the office.
There's an assassin here, and he's going to kill you. Whatever you do, stay away from the lost and found.
I was just imagining being a student at that school and hearing the first one and then hearing the second one and having it just be this massive mystery. For
the rest of your life, you'll be like, what was that one time when Bobby Deaver? What was that all about?
Oh, that is funny.
Oh, man.
So then it cuts to Louis's room and he's dancing to some generic music.
Dude, are you even listening to the music?
Yes, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so I got a story about this. Okay, so this this skip move that he does. Okay, So I think I might have told you. I don't know.
Probably.
So my best friend Adam and I, when we were in junior high at these dances, and we would do the skip move. Like, how people, when I was in junior high, there were these big things where people would be in like breakdance circles, where like everyone would like gather around. I don't know if they still do this, and like someone be in the middle doing all this like crazy like cool stuff, right? Popping and locking, whatever. And like my friend Adam and I'd be like, okay, ready, go. And we jump in the middle and we just start doing this skipping thing. And people were like booing us, and people got like really upset, and they were like pushing us. And we did this at every dance. We had 10 dances or so a year. And for 2 years we did this. And this is like all the schools in the area, right? So we get to high school where like all the, like everyone from all the around surrounding schools, like they all go to the same high school. And people literally were like, dude, you guys are the skipping guys. And like, we kind of like made a name for ourselves before anyone knew who we were, because
you guys are the skipping guys.
Seriously, like everyone knew who we were because of this skipping thing. It was great.
That is funny. And so Louis is doing this whole thing, and Twitty's like, yeah, I'm thinking about working in some arms. I think you're thinking too much.
I think you're thinking too much. I love Twitty.
And then just immediately, okay, let me see the arms.
All right, let me see. Maybe it's got to be better than what's happening right now.
Let me see the arms. And it's just 10 times worse. And he stops the music. Yeah, what's up, man? I love that.
This might be my favorite scene in the entire season. Just this skipping
it's good
scene. Oh, man, it's so good.
And then all this dialogue is
yeah,
really
and
good.
It's not just physical comedy. It's also like all this really good straight man stuff, and then like Louis just being Louis.
I know, I love that though. Louis, as your friend and as a concerned citizen, I can't let you do that in public. You're gonna hurt somebody.
They use that all the time in the promos.
Really?
Yeah, they can't let you do that in public part.
But you're not. But I know they used the concerned citizen line another time in the series too. I think Ren says it.
Oh yeah.
But she definitely says it another time. And I wonder if Dearborn wrote the other episode where she says that.
I know, yeah.
If he just likes the concerned citizen line.
I love it.
Yeah, so then there's like this whole bit of dialogue here that's just so good. I'll probably put in a clip because I love it.
Not everybody dances, man.
Look, tomorrow night at Zach's party, it's the real deal, you know? It's not some bar mitzvah. It's not some kid's birthday party, you know? This is a party for no good reason, and I will be dancing.
And plus, you don't want Tony and Zach dancing together.
No, that wouldn't be too comfy, Twitty.
My favorite line, I think, in this episode is, No, that wouldn't be too comfy.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too comfy, Twitty. Use that one. I mean, I've used so many lines from this episode. So many times. And dance moves.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be too comfy. I use that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and so he's like, you got 1 day to learn to dance. He's like, yep, 1 day. Cut to a fast motion of him looking through the yellow pages. Whereas, today he would just whip out his iPhone, search dance lessons. Just dance lessons near me or something. And bam. But looking through the yellow pages, and interesting to note, on Disney Plus, they cut out the fast motion bit of him searching through all the pages, and it just cuts straight to him finding the one.
That's so weird.
And it's you know why? Because there are other numbers that can be seen.
Oh, come on, what is it with them and the numbers?
I know, because when you look at the original, as he's flipping, you can get pretty clear shots of other numbers. And so I guess they were like, we're not going to blur out 0.5 seconds on each page.
Numbers from 20 years ago?
Exactly. We're just going to cut out that whole fast motion sequence and just cut to him putting his finger on the ad. And they blurred out the phone number for the thing on it too. They left the address, though. The address isn't a real address. The address is a real address. If you...
I didn't even think to look at it.
I thought to, after our exploration with the phone numbers in one of our last episodes. It's a real address, but, not where they say it is.
What's the address? Do you remember?
It's something J Street, Sacramento, but it has the wrong zip code. I don't understand.
It'd probably take them less time to actually test these numbers than it would to blur them.
Yeah, it's just weird. So anyway, Lewis lands on an ad for Betty London's Dance Cabana, which is funny because, I don't know if you noticed, it says, learn the latest dances, but it says lastest.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a typo.
That's funny.
In the yellow pages that says lastest dances. And so I was going to say that she should be sued for false advertising, but then again, she didn't write the latest dances. She wrote the lastest dances.
That's true.
It's Lewis's fault for reading latest.
As you see here, it says lastest. So, Your Honor.
Your Honor. So he shows up, and it's a bunch of elderly people who are there to learn the tango and learn the rumba and learn her favorite, the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. And then, your ad said we'd learn the latest dances. Yeah, when I opened this place back in 57, these were the latest dances. Let's go. The lady has a point, but false advertising. That's one little loophole there she found. I was like, I don't understand why in all that time she didn't think to update her advertising or change her curriculum with the time. And I do think it's adorable that Lewis actually went out to a dance class in preparation for this party.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to make it... He's dedicated.
Yeah.
He doesn't have schoolwork to do, so.
It's just cute seeing him standing there among all these elderly people
Yeah.
Wait a minute, this isn't what I was signed up for, so I'm just going to get my refund and boogie on home. And then, now I'm making you my special project. And then cuts to a little montage of him learning a few dances, mingling with some of the elderly people, and a guy cleaning his dentures. And
I love it.
The face Shia makes is so good.
That one face he does, yeah.
Yep. And this montage is where I got the music for our trivia section.
Yeah.
Yep. So it just sounded like good trivia music to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what'd be good for trivia? I was like, for some reason, this sort of sounds like a Jeopardy kind of vibe to it with the little mallet.
Yeah.
It just fit the vibe. So that's what I went with for our trivia section music. And it always gets stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's been stuck in my head since I watched it. It's it's kind of like that it's like a tiki song, like one of those old, tiki jazz.
It's just funny. Just all the music on Even Stevens just makes me laugh in one way or another. It's just so funny.
It's really, it's funny because it's really catchy, but not in a way where it's oh, I would listen to this. It's catchy.
Yeah, no, it's just...
You know what I mean? But it's just catchy in it's a small world type of way.
So the next scene cuts back to the Stevens house. Eileen is like working on some stuff in the dining room when suddenly Ren screeches as if she's being murdered, and Eileen runs out to help her see what's going on, and Ren, the very next thing she says is, "No, that's great." And Eileen's like, "Oh my god." Like, this was around that time where, like, kids, when they're excited, they scream like they're in pain, and parents just don't get it, like, sort of thing, you know?
No, totally.
And so basically Ren's on the phone with Ruby, who's telling her, like, "Oh yeah, well, Bobby's gonna be at Zach Estrada's party, so now you got, like, your second chance to, like, go up and talk to him or, like, make something happen." And so now she's all excited. She's like, "Oh my god, guess what? I'm going to Zach Estrada's party." And I never knew what she was saying here, but then I figured it out, I guess. And then,
the AKA part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I looked at the subtitles, but I also thought she said, like, Colby, like that was his middle name or something.
Yes. I never knew, but yeah, it's just AKA Call Me Bobby.
Yeah. I never knew if she was saying call me or Colby.
Yeah, I know, it's really weird. I don't even know what she used to say. I thought she was just saying some nonsense or something. I have no idea. AKA call Daddy. I don't even know.
It's like Adam Sandler.
Out of nowhere, yeah, just some little da-da-da.
Ruby and I are going to Zach's party, and Robert, a.k.a. Call Me Bobby Deaver, is going to be there. And I can't think of a better way to say hi. Glad to meet ya.
Zach Estrada's party?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is great. This is perfect because I promised to drive Louis there at 7:30, so...
What did you say?
Louis is going to Zach's party.
Aww. This is just great. Oh.
First of all...
Is this a real hairstyle?
That's what I was going to say. Okay. First of all, okay, this is similar to her hairstyle in swap.com.
Yeah.
When Louis is on the door, she has basically the same hairstyle, but in pigtails.
Yeah.
With, like, the blue...
Yeah, it looks better like that than like this, though.
Yes, in this, it's just one long ponytail sticking out in the back now because she's put all these different blue elastics all the way down it.
Some, like, Egyptian coil hairstyle or something.
No, it's just a weird product of the 2000s.
I've never seen anyone do this, but it looks terrible.
I've done the one with the pigtail version.
See, that doesn't look as bad, but this one looks like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one way to put it. Oh, yeah. Well, no offense. Don't know who is in charge of hair on this right now, but wow. We see Ren hugging Mr. Pookie in this scene as well as she's on the phone and then standing there talking with Eileen. Ren has this whole thing built up where it's like, it's her perfectionism thing again, and then also just like her needing to be in control of everything, thinking everything's gonna go her way. Then just this one little thing of Eileen saying that Louis is also going to the party. Her world just explodes. Like they just zoom in on her, The Office style. They just like zoom in like as soon as Eileen says, "Because I said I'd drop Louis." What did you say?
Apparently, Eileen doesn't need to pick them up from the party, though, because...
I know. Ren just comes walking home, yeah.
And she doesn't even know where Louis is. She's like, oh, is Louis still there? You're not picking him up?
I know, you're right, exactly.
Because I like to think that Louis... As much as he like pretends that he would embarrass her, I don't think he would have done anything that, you know what I mean?
I think it's just that it's like this elevated social event.
Yeah.
That it's just sort of like, I don't want to have to be there with my brother who I know is ridiculous sometimes. And
I hate this like controlling side of Ren where it's like the same thing in Secret World of Girls where she has like this whole where she has a whole like contract for her parents and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff just gets to me. I don't know why.
I mean, it is weird.
Yeah. I mean, both characters get self-centered a lot, but just this one aspect, I don't know. It just bothered me.
This is when Eileen, I think, flat out says for once, you and Louis are only a year apart. Mm-hmm. You go to the same school. You're going to have to face the fact that you're going to be in social situations together. And, Ren's just like, any one, but this one. I'm like, nah, she probably would have been complaining no matter what it was. But then it's great. So, Ren, what's the worst thing that could happen? And then she just imagines.
Okay, Bobby, up next in the Ren Stevens Festival of Humiliation. I took this one by myself. It's called Ren Eats a Bad Clam. And she just lights up the screen. Aww.
Why is this happening to me?
Like,
he brings a slide projector to the party.
I love when they're sitting there eating popcorn and Shia's doing that laugh that I love. Oh my god, and Christy having to have posed draped around a toilet for these pictures.
It's like the dingiest lighting ever.
Imagine that photo shoot having to take place for this episode. Okay, so Christy, just like put your hand around the toilet bowl, just pose, you're sick. Yeah, so Ren's extra dramatic. Why is this happening to me? I'm like, this? What is this happening to you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like nothing's happened yet.
Oh my gosh, she's so dramatic.
Hey, but this is what she gets though, right?
What do you mean?
Later on, what happens?
Oh, I know.
Her trying to be over-controlling always blows up in her face.
Yeah.
We see this more than once. Like, her wanting really badly to get her braces off for her yearbook picture blows up in her face.
Yeah.
Her wanting to get best smile and all this stuff in the yearbook blows up in her face when she gets best class clown or whatever because of what she was trying to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things like this always go wrong for her because of how controlling she tries to be about it.
Yeah.
So
I like that they show that dynamic. Lewis is just whatever about so much stuff. In the class picture, like, he gets a nice picture and he doesn't even care. And then she wants the picture to be nice and then she looks like a chipmunk. It's just funny.
Yep.
I love those little touches, yeah.
So it cuts to Lewis's room and he's on the phone with Twitty. And this is also another thing where I got from our little soundbite. For your information,
Yeah.
the rumba is a dance that never goes out of style, my friend. And then he's like, Twitty? Alan? Like, he says Alan,
Yeah,
which
does.
he hardly ever says.
I think that's like one of the only times he says it.
Because later on, he doesn't even know who Alan is.
He forgot already.
So he knew at one point, and then Ren says, Alan had to go bye-bye, which I'm like, what? Okay. Ren's like, yeah, we're going to the same party. I whipped up this little agreement. And he's like, agreement?
Anti-embarrassment pact? Ren, I don't have time for this stuff. I have problems of my own. People still do the rumba, right?
Yeah, whatever. Read it. It's to ensure that both of us will have a pleasant and humiliation-free evening.
Read it. Like, it's like he's going to read all that fine print and ridiculous. Like, how did she... Again, that's just, like, the ridiculousness of how she just whipped that up. It's like a 15-page thing.
Like, she's going to sue him if he doesn't.
Yeah, and then he's like, no talking provision. What's that? You are not to talk to me. And I'm like, she sort of messed things up for herself there, which we see later.
Yep.
But it's such a good moment.
Yeah.
So basically, she tells him, okay, what if I dedicated all my time to making your life a living hell? Which I'll do if you don't sign this. So that's a crime that was just committed.
Like blackmail?
Coercion or something?
Maybe. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it.
And then I never got it either when she goes, press hard, because the top copy's yours.
I always think about that. I'm like, I think the line was supposed to be because the bottom copy's yours.
Because why would she not want the original?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense.
I think she messed it up, but...
Anyway, yeah, so cut to the party. Everyone's walking into this house, and everyone's just smiling and walking around. And there's this song that's playing. I don't know if you catch these lyrics.
I Shazammed it. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find anything. I actually liked this song.
Yeah, it's always stuck in my head.
It's like a female Smash Mouth or something.
But the lyrics, like the first verse when like Bobby's walking in the door and stuff, it's like, there's something kind of sexy about the way you use your smile or something like that. I'm like, there's something kind of sexy. I'm like, all right, we're getting into the party. Like this is what I meant. I'm like, this is a high school party or something. This is no middle school party with these lyrics right out the gate.
This hook is killer though.
I know. Everything is all right. Having a good time.
I know, I couldn't understand what she said. I looked up the lyrics too. I was trying to find it. I was like, man, I've always liked that song.
And it's so funny because there's that one kid that they follow through the party.
I love that one. He's like pointing at me, fingering pistols and stuff.
This kid, he has spiky hair, the puka shell necklace, a Hawaiian shirt, and he's like tan. Where he goes off when he's dancing, when he just suddenly goes up to that girl and he's just like, hey, he's body rolling and like all this
He's
stuff.
walking through like a stereotype. Every stereotype you see in like old high school parties and stuff.
But just the way he's dancing, like he's supposed to look like a super good dancer and super cool, but he just looks so cringy.
Yeah.
And like Lewis is looking at him like, oh man, I wish I could dance like that guy. I'm like, can you imagine Lewis dancing like that?
So it'd be so ridiculous.
It just is not meant to be. It's just not supposed to happen. And so then Twitty shows up in his like fancy party Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
He got the shell necklace kind of thing going on too.
And he kind of does that little walk too a little bit, you know?
Oh, Twitty?
Yeah.
Twitty's like, hey man, like I was just teasing you about your dancing. Like you should get out there because Tawny arrives. And it's such a sweet moment, right? When she comes walking in the door and she like waves to Lewis and Twitty and like Lewis just makes this face, like that like relieved face of like, oh my God, there's Tawny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love that moment. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. It's so real.
Yeah, and that's what, like we're saying, like this episode just in general is super real. Especially I think like the Lewis and Tawny thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's like that one little thing where a girl walks by Twitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like in the middle of talking to Lewis, and then the girl walks by. He's like checking out the girl as she walks by, and then he's like, I gotta go.
Oh, man.
And then this is when, yeah, Lewis starts dancing and looks like he's like suffering a muscle spasm or something. I don't know.
And we get an introduction.
Yep, Monique.
Lewis, are you okay?
Yeah, Monique, I'm fine.
Are you sure? Because you don't look so good. Maybe you should go lie down.
No, I'm fine.
Then it cuts to Ren in the bathroom upstairs trying to primp herself to get ready to go speak to Bobby. And her hair, I don't know what was going through our heads at this time in history.
They look like jumbo-sized crinkle fries.
So her hair is crimped within an inch of its life with random butterfly clips and stuff just hooked in all different places.
She was begging for the tree to attach itself to her head.
Earlier, I had commented in my review saying that everyone deserves a friend as honest as Twitty when he tells them, like, I can't let you dance like that in public. Because Ruby
The opposite.
is straight up lying to Ren. I mean, at the time, we thought this hairstyle looked good for some reason. But at the same time, I'm just like, Ruby, you should have told her it was too much. Because Ren's like, it's not too much, is it? No, nonsense. Of course not. You look perfect. I'm like, oh my God. Well, But yeah, Ren also has on a purple shirt and purple eyeshadow, which purple is something they keep very consistent with her character.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like her favorite color. Her room's purple, her phone's purple. But no, I do love when, Ren's in the bathroom and then the knock starts on the door and it's this ridiculously long, complicated knock. And then Ren opens the door and it's Ruby and she goes, I wasn't done with the secret knock yet. It could have been anyone.
Yeah, why does she need a secret knock? Like, if it was someone else, she could be like, yeah, I'm in here, so, like, I'm not done.
I know, but it's just so funny. The fact that the knock has to be like 5 minutes long or else it could be anyone. ... or something would be enough. Not like
Like, they actually sat down and concocted this.
Yeah, I don't think just anyone would have been knocking on the door that much. So Ruby gives Ren the rundown about what's going on with Bobby, about how he just talked to this person and this person about this and that, and now he's walking into the kitchen to get a pretzel. I'm like, how does Ruby get the complete play-by-play?
And the other guy, the guy he was talking to, was eating a pretzel.
No, Bobby's eating a pretzel too.
Was he?
Yeah, because she said Bobby's going to get himself a pretzel.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't notice him with the pretzel. I noticed the other guy with the pretzel.
Oh, yeah, Bobby's holding one. Yep.
Huh, okay.
I know, but I like that though, right?
Yeah.
Give him the pretzel. It's just one little throwaway line, but they have him eating the pretzel. But yeah, and so Ren, takes a deep breath and goes walking towards Bobby, about to like tap him on the shoulder to have him turn around and say hi. And then her hair just gets caught in this giant, like, bush plant that's, like, hanging off of this bookshelf. Oh, man, this was the funniest thing ever to me for so long.
Me too.
And I still laugh. When I think about it. Mainly because they just keep showing a bunch of different hard cuts.
Of her, like, struggling and stuff?
Yeah, like, it almost, like, keeps resetting.
Yeah, it does. Like, implying she's been struggling for, like, 5 minutes trying to get her head out of the tree.
Just, like, a bunch of different cuts. And then that one time where she's like, ow! Yeah, it's implying that she's been struggling for a long time, and this romantic music is still playing in the background.
Yeah.
That we hear all the time. I love that music. Yeah, and she's struggling, and then she tries to play it off when someone walks by. She's like, hi.
Like, if I was, like, Bobby doesn't even notice all this commotion behind him or anything.
Well, he's ridiculous anyway. He's a weirdo.
That's true, he's eating a pretzel.
But yeah, it's just the way she's like, hi. Just trying to play it off, you know. This is part of my look tonight. Yeah, but then Lewis pops up. Hey, Ren, I know under Article 4 I'm not supposed to talk to you tonight, but thought you should know you have a tree growing out of your head. It's scary. Then she finally gets out from the plant, and she has remnants of this plant just all in her hair, and she just goes walking straight back to the bathroom. And I love how those two guys at the end of the hall see her, and they're laughing at her.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I think this is a real house, by the way, I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It seems like
I think
one.
they filmed it in an actual house. Also, it wouldn't be worth building an entire
other house,
set.
Yeah. So then it cuts to Lewis and Tawny downstairs, which I love this, too. This is like the perfect junior high awkwardness situation when you like someone and, you know, like they're friends, of course, so they're like kind of chilling at first, just sort of talking. She's like, oh yeah, did you try these jalapeno puffs? Like, Zach's right, they're great. And he has that other line about, yeah, these are great, these put cashews to shame.
Cashews, the most like basic party snack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then the song starts playing and Tawny's like, oh, I love this song. And I love the way he says, too, yes, it is a catchy melody. And then that line of, you know, I heard the drummer died in a tragic shaving accident. And, you know, Tawny's just like, Lewis. You know, and they just stare at each other awkwardly while this song is playing. And there's, like, obviously that unspoken tension between them. Like, they want to dance with each other, but neither of them's asking.
Yeah.
And then Tawny, you know, Tawny, being awesome, is just like, hey, yeah, Lewis, you want to dance? But then Lewis, still being too immature to just be like, yeah, it's like, oh, you know, I haven't stretched yet, I haven't, you know, done whatever. And then obviously Tawny's like, okay.
But it's like, he's willing to take the L. Like, in his head, he's gonna look like an idiot trying to dance.
Yeah.
So I think he'd rather just, and I was the same way. I've never been a dancer. In fact, I've always resorted to just being like an idiot. Because I think making people laugh, to me, is just the way I cope with it. Because I rather just look silly on purpose than like try to dance and then look silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like growing up, I mean now like I'll dance now. It's not a big deal. But like growing up, like I was not a dancer. Seeing him, like I get this scene. Someone asks you to dance and you're like, I don't know how to dance. Just super awkward.
But I just think, you know, it's sad. it's a sad
yeah
moment.
It is sad because she really wants to dance with him.
Yeah. But I think, and she's looking at it as him being immature.
Yeah, and being like, oh, he obviously just doesn't want to dance with me or whatever.
But that's why either way though, I still like the way Zach comes over and he's like, hey Tawny, you want to dance? She's like, yeah, sure, like no hesitation, because she's like, well, Lewis, like what do you want me to do? Like I'm not gonna just like stand around and like wait for you to be ready to dance with me.
I'm waiting for Lewis to stretch.
Honestly, you know, and so she just hands him the jalapeno puffs and goes off with Zach.
It's not like they're dating yet, so it's like
yeah. And so, but I think it's just so funny when she goes to dance with Zach and like they don't just stand face to face and start dancing. What does she do? She goes in front of him and they start doing like this intricate like.
They've rehearsed this. What is this move?
This like intricate like side sway thing where they like look at each other over their shoulders.
My wife and I should rehearse this dance move and just do it at like every wedding we go to.
Because I was dying laughing one day about this. I was like, Ma, if someone asked you to dance, would you go over to them and just suddenly go like...
So how do you want to dance? Oh, let's do that like weird, that sway thing where like we go opposite sides. Okay, let's go. And then like they just both...
sway things where we go opposite sides and I look at you over my shoulder each time.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Let's do it.
Oh, I know that one. Oh, that one.
Like they didn't even talk about it. They just started doing it.
Exactly. They just go straight to the floor and just go right to bam. They're just... and they cut back to them a few other times and they're still doing that move.
Yes.
But you can tell that it's the same footage. It's like the same exact clip that they used earlier, just again. And I'm like, oh, they're still going.
And then how does Twitty say, oh, they look really cute together? And then they're just doing that.
And I can't with Zach either. He's like, hands above the head, like
if that was a few years later, that would be considered freak dancing.
Honestly.
Like one time my wife and I we were at a high school when we were she was in high school and I was like a freshman in college or whatever. Mm-hmm. We went to high school dance and we were just standing and I just kind of was like, had my arms around her and she was in front of me. We weren't dancing or anything. I was like, holding her like cupcake style, like back in the day.
Yeah.
And we got in trouble and they called our parents.
I know, that's ridiculous. Yeah, our high school, my high school dances, we had one dance. We're in the city, okay? So we had one dance, and then they said, yeah, we can't have dances anymore.
Yep, that's it.
I was horrified. I mean, people were on the floor. Let's just put it that way.
No, yeah. Oh, people were doing, it's not appropriate for me to say in this podcast, but yeah, people were doing stuff.
Yeah. I was horrified. I was a 14-year-old freshman going to this dance expecting it to be like my middle school dances.
I wonder if people still dance like that now or if that's like come and gone.
I don't know, but yeah, so Louis just sort of retreats to lean against the wall and he looks up and notices that there's, freaking giant loser wall light flashing, which is obviously a surreal thing. But it's great. I like this one because, it's an over-exaggeration and it ties back to what Twitty said earlier in the episode, where it's like, here's the loser wall.
There's like an actual loser wall.
Yep. That's like a tongue-in-cheek kind of like.
Yeah. Totally. Taking a metaphor and then just like making it an actual thing.
Yeah.
I love it. They do that. They do that a few times. I like when they do that.
And this always stuck with me as a kid, the loser wall.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of nerds against the wall. Wasn't there a kid with like headgear, of course?
Always got to be a kid with headgear.
Yeah, so now Ren's back in the bathroom with Ruby, and Ruby's trying to help her get all the leaves out of her hair. Ruby's like, oh, it would be a lot easier if I had some scissors or something. And now there's like a line of kids like waiting to go use the bathroom. This is kind of Ren being, like, she's taking up the whole bathroom.
There's a one downstairs.
I know, there's one downstairs, but like, you know what I mean? Though still, they're just like turning people away.
Yeah.
It's like Ren needs to be in this bathroom for her meltdown happening right now. Use somewhere else. Go use the one over at the gas station. And so Ren like climbs up on the toilet to start looking.
And doesn't lower the toilet seat. She does it with the toilet seat up. Who does that?
That's her first mistake. She deserved her foot to get stuck in this toilet.
Yeah.
And then she's like, here's the tweezers. And then she slips and you don't hear any noise. You don't hear any splash. You don't hear anything. It's just whoop. And she just falls. So then she's like, I'm jinxed because my foot is now stuck in the toilet. I'm just like, you know what, Ren? What do you want? What do you want? Have anything you'd like to say about that?
I got something in a minute, but yeah. Keep going.
It just does a quick cut back to Louis watching Tawny and Zach dancing together again. And now, I think that's when Twitty said, like, oh, yeah, they look pretty good together, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. And, like, just goes to walk upstairs instead of leave, which, okay. And so Louis walks upstairs. Suddenly he's, like, reading a book as he, like, walks by the bathroom. But
I know. I love that he was reading a book.
But before that, Ruby is, they cut back to the bathroom with Ruby and Ren. And Ren's like, okay, so you're just telling me to flush the toilet and it will blow my foot out? She's like, I'm saying it's like giving your foot the Heimlich. And she's like, all right. I'm like, this is why, like, Ruby's friendship skills right now. She's just, everything is just going down the tubes, literally. The toilet just blows all the water into Ren's face.
And Ren keeps her mouth open.
Oh my God, I know. Disgusting.
In TV shows, when something falls on someone or whatever, they keep their mouths open. Why is that a thing?
I don't know, because it's more dramatic.
I'd be like pinching my lips closed.
Oh my God. Yeah, if toilet water was rushing towards my face, I would literally be like, oh, first thing I would do is block my face. But Ren is like, she has her mouth wide open.
And by the way, the jury is still out of whether or not she looks better after this happens.
Oh yeah, she does actually look better after.
Because like her hair doesn't look all jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her eye makeup's running.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that what would happen if you flushed it? Would the water rush back out? Or would it just...
I don't know. I always think about that.
I always think it would go down, and then your foot.
It would just
would
it would
be in
like
the
clog
water.
the toilet.
Yeah.
Like when the toilet clogs, it doesn't just backfire all over the place. You know? I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to get your foot out of the toilet.
No.
But in the name of comedy.
Sitcom reasons, as we've said before. But yeah, I love it. So Lewis goes walking by. Ruby opens the door, like just yanks Lewis in. She's like, "Oh, Lewis, great, fine, come in."
And the people in line are like, "What is happening in there?"
And then I can't help but laugh, though. I'm sorry. As soon as Lewis sees Ren, he just goes like, he does the laugh.
It's so good.
I thought I was having a lousy night.
Lewis, please, we need your help.
It's so good.
I just laugh
It's like
every
poetic
time.
justice.
It's so good. Oh,
And
my
I
God.
love how he has the contract in his pocket.
But then that's where it gets so serious, right?
Yeah.
My help. Well, there must be something in here somewhere about help, right, Ren?
Lewis, stop it. I was wrong. But it's really hard to like someone and not have them know how you feel. I know that you can't relate to this now, but someday you will.
But you'd be surprised. Listen, Ren, I know it's not in the contract, but I'm gonna get you out of here.
I like this moment, though.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And this is when Lewis says, though,
You'd
you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yep. We get to see both of the siblings in this sort of kind of similar situation.
And I like how Matt, like, he cuts to Ren kind of realizing, oh, maybe Lewis is kind of crushing on someone. Like, let's see how Ren reacts to him saying that. Like, they kind of have it's like a pregnant pause almost.
I know you can't. I love the way she's assuming, it's like, I know you can't relate to this now, but someday you will. But yeah, so then Lewis finding a way. Of course, he just knows what to do. Just grab some shampoo. I love the way he's describing it. He's like, yeah, okay, so Ruby, put the shampoo on her foot, let it soak for like 3 minutes.
I like how he does his hand like 3 minutes.
I know, the 3 minutes. I love the hands. And it'll slide out like butter. Pretty sure. He's such a natural the way he says these lines.
Shia literally never delivers a bad line.
No.
Like, every line he says is delivered, like, better than how I think the writers imagined it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like we've been told that.
Especially.
Lewis decides that, he's going to help out. He's going to create a diversion so that, all Ren needs to worry about is getting out of here without Mr. Wonderful seeing her. I love it. It's just so casual. It's nice. He goes downstairs, and the song that's playing is the Boogie! They're all listening to that Boogie song. Yeah. Oh my God.
They're super into it.
And then he shuts it off to put on I'm like, and what? Did this house just automatically have the rumba dance class music?
It was on cue. Yeah, it was on cue.
But I love the way they zoom in on the boom, like the old boombox sound system from 2000. This thing was like, it looks like they have like the 3-disc changer.
I had that, like a really similar one. Mine was a 5-discer. Mm-hmm. Mine had like the record player at top, then CDs, then the cassettes.
Mm-hmm. I'll always remember going to like parties at my cousin's house. I think they had a 5-disc. What we would do is we would take 5 different, now that's what I call musics.
Yeah.
And we just put it in and set it to random, and it would just that was the equivalent to putting on a playlist on shuffle.
Yeah.
If you look at Lewis's face when he changes the song and he turns around, the smile that he does. It's so creepy looking. Yeah, we have to gift that now in the better quality on Disney Plus. Just to have that as a reaction. It's the creepiest looking smile. I love it. And especially because he goes walking straight for Zach's mom.
She said.
The only woman who knows how to rumba. I know, she said, I'll be waiting. And so he goes over to her. They start dancing. And Ren's foot is able to come out of the toilet, but her shoe is still stuck, which I don't know how that would work, but again, sitcom reasons. So her shoe is stuck in the toilet now, but not her foot. Her foot's out. She's like, oh no, but my shoe, I can't leave my shoe. She's like, we have no time. And they go, and I'm like, really? You're just going to leave your shoe in someone's toilet?
Can you imagine Monique walking in and being like, there's a shoe in the toilet? And then Brandon Baker gives the most ridiculous line read ever when he says, that's my mom. Full arm points at Lewis and his mom.
Well, it's funny because they've already shown him a few times. He sees it happening.
Yeah.
Does it take him like that long to register it? Because then he shouts the line.
It's the most ridiculous line read he ever gives in this show.
So Ren successfully sneaks out. And this also reminds me of Quest for Coolness, kind of. Like, I'm always imagining her saying thank you.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I also thought that.
Yeah, but she just kind of waves and Lewis just gives a nod. Yeah, so she escapes from the party without Bobby seeing her. Everything's fine. Lewis is dancing with Zach's mom. He does a little dip with her, the song ends, everything's great. And then he suavely just walks over to Tawny instead at the end of the song, just bam, takes her hand, she takes his hand, they go dancing off. I'm like, all right, good, happy ending. And then it cuts to Ren. Oh, help me. The scene was killing me.
Hi.
It always killed me, but I laughed out loud laughing at how bad this is. But I think it's, like, bad on purpose.
She always speaks in her head voice when she talks to guys, too.
It is so uncomfortable. It's just, like, it's the cringiest thing. Oh, I hate it.
It's like Justin Timberlake having a conversation.
Yeah, it's oh my god. So she's walking down the street, and of course she's supposed to be all cold and it's damp, and she's just walking home alone all sad, and then, hey Ren, or whatever, she turns around and then he just comes walking towards her. Hi, I'm Bobby. Or whatever he says. Wait, I'm sorry, I had to double check what he says. He doesn't even say hi.
He says, I'm Bobby.
He starts walking towards her, not saying anything.
Hey, Ren. I'm Bobby.
And that's a wrap. Nailed it.
Like, I couldn't remember what it was that he said, and then he just says, I'm Bobby.
And then she just says, I'm Stevens.
Hi, I'm Stevens.
Hi.
He's holding her shoe, and he says, this was in the bathroom. I thought it might be yours.
Homeboy must have pulled the shoe out of the toilet, or how many people you think peed on that shoe before someone got it out of the toilet? If I saw a shoe in the toilet, I'm not pulling that thing out. I'm not touching it.
I'm like, I love the way this is like an attempt at like a Cinderella thing, except it's even Stevens, so he found the shoe in the toilet. Yeah. Why would Bobby Deaver see a shoe in the toilet, pick it out and say, I bet this is Ren Stevens?
Party reasons.
And I gotta go give it to her now in the middle of the street.
Like, he noticed what shoes she was wearing and was like, yes.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I cringe so much every time I watch this.
Me too.
He goes to, like, put it on her foot. They do, like, the close-up on her foot. And then she goes, oh, well, let me help you there.
Perfect fit.
Perfect fit. The way you said it. Perfect fit.
He has, like, the cheesiest smile ever.
Yep.
He would have been great in, like, a weird parody comedy type of thing.
But I mean, I feel like that's what all of his scenes are.
That sounds, but he in like a movie or something, he could have had a career.
The whole Bobby Deaver thing is like a parody of a crush in a relationship. Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
It's so good.
Oh my god! But just the way her voice, I'm like, oh, Ren, the voice. She puts on the voice.
Ren crush voice.
Romantic Ren, yeah.
Romantic Ren.
And then he says I've been wanting to say hi to you for the longest time. Like, so hi. And I'm just like, well, there you go. There's no way the most popular guy in school wasn't aware of this popular girl's existence.
Yeah, man.
I know I wasn't crazy for thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, how do they not even know each other? Like, come on. And then he goes to walk away, and then she just immediately starts celebrating, which I always say, don't do that. Yeah, like, maybe don't. Like, they're still right there.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah. And then, he's like, oh, and Ren, I'm missing a red jacket. So if you see it, I'll let you know. She said that voice again, and then, bye.
Super cringy.
It is. And so Ren makes her way home, and she walks through the door. Again, not picked up by Eileen, just walked home without a shoe half the way.
Soaking wet. Also, why didn't Bobby, offer to walk her home?
I know, right? He's like, well, going back to the party or wherever he's going, like.
But if it's close enough for her to walk at, 10 o'clock at night by herself.
Again, I'm telling you, Bobby is a sucky guy.
If that was me and it was even if it was a girl I liked, I'd be like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm going to walk her home, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, sick.
No, yeah, Bobby's just like, oh, hey, soaking wet girl who was walking home without a shoe.
Yeah.
Here's your shoe. By the way, let me know if you see my jacket. Bye.
Deuces.
Imagine Bobby Deaver just does peace sign and walks away. Yeah, so Ren is home and she's like,
Honey, what happened? You're all wet.
Oh, well, I got my foot stuck in a toilet and it exploded in my face.
Oh, that must have been awful.
It's the best night of my life.
Oh, good. Sounds like fun.
I always liked that. Yeah, and so then Eileen's like, well, where's Lewis? Oh, I guess he must still be at the party. And they cut back, whole party, everyone's gone. It's just Lewis dancing with Zach's mom now, alone, to that same Rhomba song in the living room. And then this whole joke with, like, Zach feeling like he needs to tell his dad. I'm like, what? It's like, you really want to cut your business trip short, but you want to get home.
Like, your mom's gonna cheat on your dad with
this 13-year-old?
A 12-year-old? A 13-year-old? Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Bro, you got bigger problems if that's what's gonna happen.
It's very disturbing. Anyway, so it ends on a freeze frame of Shia, Lewis dancing. And that's it.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, this is definitely another one where every time I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that. Like, that one's fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's like 2 episodes in one, kind of, you know? It's fun because it's not just one location, but at the end, the last half is, and it's executed perfectly. Yeah. But then you feel like you get a bigger bang for your buck, I think.
So I think that's everything. Yeah, MVP, honestly, this was the first time I just said Lewis, like, for real.
Well, I'm always Lewis, but I gotta say, Twitty's good. He has that, like, straight man. He makes that scene so much better with just how his responses and stuff. I mean, he's probably second for me.
I mean, everyone's always fun on this show.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, I really liked Lewis in this one. So, it's time for some trivia.
Is it true?
Did you know that...
For your information.
Is it true that...
What does that mean?
What do you got?
So, I looked up some information on the actress who played Betty London. Her name was Francine York. She passed away in 2017. And she had a really long career. She never really did anything crazy, but she was in stuff since 1959. So, I mean, she had a career that lasted, like, 60 years almost.
Close to when Betty London opened up that dance place.
I know, it's crazy. 57, right? Yeah, so.
Yep. Basically, I guess, like, the title, of course, Strictly Ballroom, is the 1992 Baz Luhrmann movie.
Yeah.
It was just kind of an interesting fact. I saw someone just point out that, you know, one of Ren's best girlfriends on the show is named Monique, and Kim Possible's best girlfriend's name is also Monique.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And Christy, of course, plays both Ren and Kim.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of interesting. This is Spinal Tap reference with the drummer and the tragic shaving accident.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Spinal Tap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I think that's all I have, honestly. I couldn't really find much.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of references.
No. And sadly as well, not many tweets.
This is there's not really, like, a thing, you know, in this episode other than the toilet and the dancing.
I found 4 tweets. So yeah, it's time for some tweets. So yeah, it's going to be not the best follow-up to our glorious tweet soundbite, but can't not use the soundbite.
Yeah.
So Ghost Girlfriend says, incidentally, Strictly Ballroom is also one of my favorite Even Stevens episodes.
Incidentally.
I know, I don't know why that came first. Maybe they were replying to something else and now that's no longer there. I don't know. At OhManBB, watching Even Stevens' Strictly Ballroom and Lauren Frost's accent is cracking me up. She is so extra when she does the, yes, you are! No, we're not. Yes, you are! Oh my god. At Maurice says, love this episode of Even Stevens' Strictly Ballroom. And that's literally it. And then Sarah M. Dodd says, remember the episode of Even Stevens when Ren got her foot stuck in the toilet and Bobby has to help her?
Bobby totally helped her.
Yeah, that like doesn't exactly happen that way, but it's always fun when we see people confuse things.
I love it.
yeah, just like a few other people talking about the foot in the toilet. And yeah, one more with that, which is from Brianna. Do y'all remember that episode of Even Stevens when Ren got her shoe stuck in the toilet at a party and the water exploded on her? Laughing emoji, hashtag, the memes.
The memes.
Oh, God. But yeah, that's it. That's all the tweets.
Well, this episode can remain cult status then, I guess.
Honestly, yeah. I was surprised that there weren't many because it's such a good episode and we both have it in our top 10, but it doesn't seem to be that loved by the Twitter population.
Yeah, if you're a hardcore fan, this is like one of those that you really love. But I think if you're a casual fan, it's just like going to be one of those for like a fan episode, you know?
So just to wrap it up real quick, best quote. I jotted down a few, but I think my favorite is going to be, "Nah, that wouldn't be too comfy, Twitty."
That's a good one.
Or just, "That wouldn't be too comfy." And then my second one is, "And I thought I was having a lousy night," not because I like the quote, but just
the setup to that.
The setup and just the way Shia says it and the laugh and everything. And then Ren, "Relax, it's decaf."
That's a good one too. Mine's the, "You have a tree growing out of your head."
Yeah, it's also the way he says it. Yeah, it's great. So that is about it for this episode, I guess. Real fun one. I love this episode.
Classic.
It is. It was fun to talk about. Ren's unexpected bathroom accident was just great. That should be the alternate title of this episode.
Ren's.
Like if we were one of those people that titled our podcast episodes random things related to the conversation, this would be called Ren's Unexpected Bathroom Accident.
The Big Orange Couch podcast I listen to, they do this thing where they say, "Are you afraid to name that episode?" I thought that might be kind of cool. Well, not call it that, but maybe like come up with our own alternate titles to like the episode. That might be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that'll be that. Yeah, I'll jot that down as maybe like a fun segment.
Yeah,
that's fun.
That'd be cool.
I like that.
Yeah, shout out to Big Orange Couch for inspiring that.
Yeah, so that's everything. Follow us on all the socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, evenstevensrank.com. Leave a review wherever you listen to the podcast. Leave us a voicemail, email us, evenstevensranked@gmail.com. So you can, call the number, leave a voicemail, send a voice memo. Everything, it's all good. And I'm like falling apart right now doing these. I don't know why. Yeah, so that's it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.